Hi, I'm Leigh-Chantelle from Viva and today I'm here with Bede Carmody, and he runs a place called The Poultry Place just outside of Canberra. How are you, Bede?
Not too bad, how are you?
That's good, thank you. So tell me all about A Poultry Place. How did it start?
It started, well, I actually started the place about 10 years ago, just over 10 years actually. I wanted to set up an animal sanctuary. I'd been living hands-on with some friends for about 2.5 years who had set up their place basically as an animal sanctuary, and thought I could do my own and do a bit for the animals as well. So I started, I got some land and started planting some trees, and you see what it is today.
And we have a couple of the turkey friends behind us at times you might be able to see, and some chickens just here. And so why poultry?
Well, basically a number of reasons. When I was still eating meat, the only meat I ate was poultry. So I suppose when I became a vegetarian and started reading stuff about how eggs are produced and how meat from chickens and turkeys was produced, I got really shocked. And then when I looked at the figures, poultry are actually the most exploited animals in the world for food. 95% of all animals killed for food in the world are poultry. Chickens, ducks and turkeys are all in like the top 5. So there's more poultry killed than, you know, cows and pigs combined. And so I really thought, because it was something that I thought I could do, and I suppose I tried to also kind of set out to kind of replace my footprint, if you want. I read some figures that in a lifetime, you know, a person will eat something like 1,100 chickens in their life and stuff like that. And so I thought, well, you know, who knows? You know, if by the end of my life I can actually have provided a home for that many animals, maybe I've replaced, you know, what I took away.
Exactly. And how many animals do you have here at the moment?
It varies. It comes from, you know, depending on what's happening. At the moment, I've just taken in some newly rescued battery hens, and some. I've taken in a turkey that was being used as a football by some kids. So it's not just actually factory farmed animals that have been rescued that come here. It's also animals that have been, you know, put in abusive situations.
And so, what's your aim with A Poultry Place?
Well, basically just to provide a safe haven for the animals. Some of the animals have been animals that have been used for campaign, like for posters or photos or whatever. And once they've been used for that, you know, purpose, it's only fitting that they get, you know, to have a good life. And so they come here, they retire here basically. And also it provides an opportunity when I'm engaging with people, you know, they can actually see, particularly people who aren't vegetarian or vegan, they can actually see how their meat's produced.
Yeah, and I think also meeting the animals that people have used to eat or do eat at the moment is also really important. Yeah,
it always is really surprising when people who actually, you know, still eat meat are actually here and they actually meet the animals, and you know, without doubt, you know, that, you know, they usually say, "Oh, I never realised turkeys are so big," or "I never realised." There's always one of those kind of light bulb moments, and you just think, well, maybe if they're actually going to leave here and they're going to have a different, you know, they're going to think differently. Yeah, at least it's a start. Yeah.
It's really good. And so, what would you give me or the people that are watching some tips on how to start an animal sanctuary? Like, what's the process? You said you bought some land. That was your main sort of focus. So you save money first, get land, work it out, or?
So many people have said to me over the years, "Oh, I want to do what you're doing, set up a sanctuary." And I can tell you, probably 99% of those people are never going to do it, or if they do it, it's kind of, I wish they wouldn't.
That's a huge task.
It's unbelievable. I was very lucky. I had 2 friends who I used to visit on weekends, and I used to help them do the chores, and they were really impressed because they used to get lots of people who come and visit and wouldn't do anything. And I'd been involved with animal rights campaigning for a while, and I actually wanted to get my hands dirty. You know, I really wanted to get hands on, and I'd been on a couple of kind of direct action things, and I actually wanted to see what happened to the animals afterwards. And it was that kind of, I had that opportunity, and I ended up living with them for, well, it was originally for 12 months, it ended up being 2.5 years, so I kind of did my apprenticeship, if you want, and so that's how I learned a lot about the animals. I learned a lot about kind of building shelters for animals and stuff like that, and so when I actually branched out and started my own place, I actually had that knowledge, and I I really pace myself as well. Like I've made it quite.
Someone's trying to direct.
I've made it quite clear that I'll only take certain animals because I think one of the mistakes people do make is they just open their doors and they're going to take everything, and you just can't do that. Like there's only so many animals you can take. And it's also the trauma coming with it. Like most of the animals are suffering and have got lifetime illnesses and stuff like that you have to manage as well. And you also have to manage yourself as well and make sure that you don't burn out, because then you're no good to the animals. So
that's exactly it.
and because I'm actually a single person as well, so I don't have any. That's really important. So yeah, look, I think if you're serious about it, what you need to do is try to find someone who's doing what I'm doing and try to spend as much time as possible with them. And I don't just mean coming out for a day and then thinking, oh yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Like a long-term sort of, like you said, apprenticeship.
Yeah, I mean, you went for a walk around earlier, and this is the end of like 10 years. Like I had the land for 18 months planting trees before I actually lived here.
You're showing me the photos too, and the grass was really high as well, so you would have had to get rid of all the grass first.
Yeah, and like living in the country as well, like you can't just turn the tap on and get water. Like you actually have to have water tanks that set up gutterings and all that kind of stuff. And I've made lots of mistakes along the way, and you just have to. You can't do it straight away. It's a gradual process, and that's why you have to have a real idea about what you want to do. The other thing I think people need to do is actually consider what kind of animals they want to do, because it's really different. Like if you're taking in dogs and cats, that's really different to taking in chickens and ducks, and again it's different if you're having horses and cattle and stuff like that, because animals need, particularly grazing animals, need so much land and stuff. So I think a lot of people kind of just think, oh, I'm going to have an animal sanctuary and set it up, and you just don't do it. And the other thing is to try to for people to actually realise what is their aim to do to have the sanctuary. Like, and I actually feel that some people actually want to do it for a bit of kind of self-grandiosement kind of thing, rather than actually looking after the animals.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it is like, I'm up at 5 o'clock every day. Particularly this time of year, I usually finish doing the animals at 9 o'clock, so it does actually impact on your life. And I was prepared for that. I went into it eyes wide open. And I think a lot of people just don't realise how much time. And, it does mean that, on cold mornings you have to be out there shoveling shit, literally. You just have to, do that, because the animal's health is the most important thing. And I just, some people think I'm crazy to do what I do, but it's something I wanted to do, and I actually think I do it quite well. So it's kind of
10 years. I've been going for 10 years, so that's great.
Yeah, well, over in that time, there's been more than 1,000 animals that at one time or another have called this place home.
Wow.
So that's really good. So there's always more animals than you can offer sanctuary to, and that's the other thing. Again, it goes back to that kind of personal trauma stuff that comes, because you do have to be tough sometimes to say no, because you also have to be able to afford to feed and keep the animals in healthy, and everything costs money.
So how can people get in contact with you?
Well, they can send me an email. It's freechook@bigpond.com.
Cool.
Or they could contact Animal Live ACT or Animal Live New South Wales. I've got my details as well. So.
Easy. And so when you're saying before, a few of the hard things, like you can't take in every animal, what's the best thing about running a poultry place?
That at the end of the day, I can get home from work, I can close the gate behind me, and it's not just the animal sanctuary, it's my sanctuary as well. And that's really important. Like, I can have a really awful day, or I could see something really hideous on TV about animals or whatever, and I can actually walk outside my front door and actually just forget about that. I can sit here and just chill out. And
if people want to see more information about turkeys, you can have a look at Lara Drew, her bigbirdsbigcruelty.org website. There's a lot of information on there. And she came here quite a few times and met all the animals and got to know them.
Well, actually, I acted as a supervisor for Lara's project. And it was a really great experience to actually do that. And actually have someone who was pretty new to the movement to actually put in so much work.
Yes,
like
you
I
did.
had no idea it was going to turn out as well as it did, and it's just fantastic. And,
great.
and I mean, these guys, you know, hopefully, you know, more people are going to have respect for turkeys as a result of that project.
And tell me your transition to veganism. Why did you become vegan?
It was actually, I actually stopped eating chicken on the 1st of January 1994, and it was a bit of a New Year's resolution. I'd had a vegetarian stay at my place for a month, and so I'd been eating vegetarian, and I just thought, oh, you know, that's not bad. I was always sympathetic. I mean, you hear so many people say, I'm an animal lover, but they still eat meat, and I was like that. And then I just stopped eating chicken. I joined Animal Lib, and the more I read, and the first campaign I was ever involved with was Battery Hen, and I can never forget those first images I saw, and from there it was kind of no looking back. So it just became, you know, it's become my lifestyle. So it's just, and it was something really easy for me to do. And you know, once I stopped eating meat, I actually started running again. And I hadn't done that since I was a kid, and I actually ran marathons and everything. So yeah,
Good for you.
yeah.
Well, keep up the great work at A Poultry Place, Bede.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time, and thank you to all the turkey friends that have joined us as well. And you can see vivalavegan.net for more interviews with inspiring vegans.